Candy apples that flex, candy apples that flex, candy apples that flex. Learn how to make your candy apples walk, talk, and flex by using Candy Apple Recipe 641 with maximum flexibility. Insert your sticks. Use my candy apple cleaning method with 1/4 a cup of lemon juice, 2 tablespoons of baking soda, and 1 tablespoon of salt. Bring to a boil. Dip your Granny Smith apple in the candy apple cleaning method for 6 seconds. Bring your Granny Smith apple up, dry it off with a paper towel. Make sure you pay close attention to the top of your Granny Smith apple. This is the spot where bubbles form at the top of your candy apples. This is caused by water or apple juice sitting at the top of your apple, not fully dried off. These are the 3 colors that I am using: Hobby Lobby's orange gel food coloring, Wilton's white icing, and Hobby Lobby's lemon yellow. These 3 colors will be used for the candy corn candy apple look. The 641 candy apple mixture has reached 300 degrees. Here I am using Wilton's white icing color to make white candy apples. Tilt your pot, dip your apple, and rotate your apple until you get full coverage. You want to cover your whole apple with candy. Do not leave the top of your candy apple green. That is not a good look. Customers do not want their candy apples looking like that. Cover your apple. Your candy apple will not break down as long as you have cleaned and dried your apples off the correct and proper way. If you need your candy apples to last longer in hot, humid temperatures, click on the candy apple tutorial at the top of your screen and you will see how I use Loren's dry powdered corn syrup to prevent your apples from becoming sticky and breaking down in hot, humid temperatures. There's no secret on how to keep or make your candy apples last for a week. I wouldn't even want to eat a candy apple after a week of sitting in the refrigerator. So if you want your candy apples to last longer, just place them in the refrigerator with or without dry corn syrup or with regular corn syrup. The second step to these candy corn candy apples is using the Hobby Lobby's lemon yellow gel food coloring. Dip your white candy apples into the yellow candy apple mixture. You will repeat this for all of your white candy apples. Make sure you scrape the bottom of your candy apple really well on the side of your pot. The best thing about using parchment paper is you can take this parchment paper up when you're done and throw it away. I wouldn't recommend using a silicone mat. I would just use parchment paper. Now I am adding the Hobby Lobby's orange gel food coloring to the yellow candy apple mixture. And I am going to dip these white and yellow candy apples into the orange candy apple mixture. Bring it up and scrape on the side of my pot, and look at this cute candy corn candy apple. This is just too cute. This candy apple recipe 641 is everything. 641 candy apple recipe is flexing. This is why I think 641 candy apple recipe is the best candy apple recipe out there because of the flexibility. It doesn't harden up on you before you're finished dipping at least 12 candy apples. If you want a candy apple recipe to cover 12 apples, if you want a candy apple recipe to cover 24 apples, candy apple recipe 641 is that deal. You know, when I first started making candy apples, learning how to make a candy apple recipe for 12 apples was a big secret. Everyone would say double the recipe. Double the recipe was just way too much sugar. So if you want to make 12 candy apples, a minimum of 12 large candy apples, candy apple recipe 641 is the go-to candy apple recipe for anyone who just started making candy apples, for beginners, and the treat makers who have already been in the game for so long. They tell me all the time, I love this candy apple recipe. This candy apple recipe 641 gets so many candy apples dipped. Yes, this is the best candy apple recipe that's out there until I come up with even a better one. So the pros and the cons here. The pro is it's the best candy apple recipe that's out there. The con is it cooks a little longer than others, about 10 or 15 minutes longer. So you do need to have patience with any candy apple recipe. Perfection takes time. Perfection takes time. And these candy apples are perfect. You see the flexibility with this candy apple recipe? There's no way you would be able to dip any candy apples like this using 311 or 411 candy apple recipe. I am going to attach some cute bows using Michael's ribbon, sort of like fall. I am not into making, I know it's Halloween and everything, but I am just not into making ugly candy apples. I'm sorry. I just can't come to that. So this is the ribbon that I am using for my candy apple bows. This is Michael's brand. This is something I just picked up at Michael's. I thought it was cute. And I do not measure. You really don't have to measure out your ribbon. You just cut some ribbon and see if that's the length that you need. The important thing here is how big you want your bow. So this is how big I want my bow. So I am going to attach gold twist ties to make my bow. This is the easiest way on how to make candy apple bows if you are struggling on how to make bows from ribbon. This is the easiest. I think this is the easiest. This is the way everyone will catch on how to make a bow. I cut the twist tie so I can use hot glue on the back and just attach it onto the candy apple stick. The only thing I am going to do next to this bow is cut the tails straight across. If you have enjoyed this candy apple tutorial, make sure you stay tuned to watch my next candy apple tutorials coming up right here on Candy Apple TV. I'll see you in a few seconds over in my next video.